Welcome to another episode of the APL Spotlight series, a subset of the APL show. Amazing guests the world over. I think we're up to 25 countries with incredible personal journeys, transformative stories. Quite often, they've turned around and they're giving service to others. What makes this show super special is, at least off air, they're taking a lot of steps with the universe. Quite often, I think 95% of our guests are taking steps on air. So be sure to stick around towards the end. You can catch lit sage, see energy, light on my hands, see it around the room. We've had angels fly by as well. And they're really fun, super fun guests. They're all fun. But we have really sparkly folks come back quite often. As soon as I find somebody who can handle all this, I have them back as much as I can. Today, coming to us from Florida is exactly one of these healer types. She's incredible. Dee May. She's a writer, show host, healer, artist. There's like 5 other descriptions as well. She's super intuitive. She's a great spiritual mentor for you. She taps in as you come in and she helps you get like aligned and let go of all the junk so you can get unstuck and get moving forward on your path. She and I have played a lot with the universe, and so we were just doing that before the show. I'm super excited to have her here, and I'm a super big fan of hers. Dee, welcome back.
Michael, thank you so much. I'm a super big fan of yours as well, and everything that you do to bring angels and positive energy and love into our world and our planet and beyond, because we sure do need it.
Well, I love it. And you're coming to us from Florida. What have you been noticing in this whole career trajectory as a healer? Both, I mean, I don't think growth and expansion ever stops. So as you go along and what you're witnessing around you continues, what have you noticed you've had to let go of? What are you noticing for mankind and humanity? I'm only asking you one of those eternal questions, but what's up with your personal journey and what all of our collective journey is all about?
So, with my personal journey, and I recently did a little video on my Mindful Monday Musings series about this, is imposter syndrome, because it's so fascinating to me how we can allow it to affect our lives and make us feel like we're not worthy and keep us stuck in some areas. And the funny thing about it is, I felt like I had already conquered it. And here it comes back to show me some more things that I need to learn about myself and ways that I can improve my communication with other people as well. So I thought that was pretty fascinating.
Hmm. Okay, is there, I mean, there's been a lot of talk. It was a shift going on back in like 2010, 2012, and now there's more light coming in. There's some density, I guess,
Yes.
on planet Earth called thinking and other stuff. What's that all about, and how do you view it?
Oh, definitely it's a thinking problem, right? It really is. And I feel like a lot of us want to get caught up in that chaotic energy because it's so loud, right? And it's so dense, and loud is the word that I want to go to though. But the love and the light that I feel on this planet now. I mean, a few weeks ago, I felt this shift from this dark, heavy energy that I had been feeling, and some things were happening in the world on our planet. And then all of a sudden, it just went away. It felt so much lighter. And I feel like that's because the collective consciousness of the people who are doing this light work has shifted into almost like a doubling down of sending love and light to this darkness, which is making it feel a lot lighter than it used to. So I'm super excited about that.
Okay, I'm going to mention Ananda Mayama because she used to have a great expression, everyone's right. And ever since I've been born 56 years ago, I've never met anybody who's run around and said, hey, I'm going to be wrong. Not just for today, but I want to be wrong at work all week. I want to be wrong on my fantasy football team. And I certainly want to be wrong for the whole month with my family at home about everything. I want to waste all my energy. And yet, that's exactly what we do, by the way, with most of our thinking and our efforts when we try. Yoda had it right, no try, just be and breathe, and so on. Okay, what's this all about? About being in the heart more, trusting more, allowing more, showing love more. Can you talk to us about basic principles of flowing life through you and kind of being a kid again?
Yeah, it's such an important piece, is to reconnect with our inner child. It's loving ourselves first. And, we've been taught a lot about that being a selfish endeavor and that it's narcissistic and things like that. But when it's a pure love for yourself, where you embrace yourself as a human, and you can grow that in yourself, then it automatically, without you even having to think about it, expands and expands to encompass everyone around you. And that, I feel, is what the magic is on our planet right now, is that more and more of us are learning that. And, we spoke briefly about my reconnection with my inner child before we started recording today. And it's been absolutely amazing to just embrace that, because they're the manifestors, right? Our inner children, they believe in there are no limits. Like purple horses, that I had an imaginary purple horse as a friend when I was growing up, So purple horses, like castles in the backyard, trees that are pinks and purples and blues instead of green and brown. There's no limits to what we can create in our imagination when we're kids. And that is what actually helps us manifest. So reconnecting with that magical energy as adults is just so expansive.
Now, if anybody watching, listening, just had a reaction to that, we can just shift to music or surfing, and how where you put your focus is where you go in surfing. You know it through cooking if you're a good cook. When you're on, you're on, you're in your heart, you're enjoying it. Everyone in the room next door at the dining room table is waiting for your amazing dish. And you just let go and you were in the flow and you made something incredible. But music takes you somewhere else, and I'll call it the heart. Can you approach the same thing you just said from that perspective of flow state, being in the heart? Everyone's doing it, and they're doing it even daily,
Mhm.
multiple times, but they're not giving themselves any credit. So there's really nothing to lose, nothing to gain here. So can you just reassure everyone watching and listening that they've already got this?
Yeah, it really is in our nature. It really is. And it's the thinking that we were talking about a while ago that limits us from recognizing and embracing the fact that that love is what we already are. That's our innate essence. We have to work harder at being grouchy and upset about things and angry and mean to people than we would ever have to work at just allowing ourselves to be peaceful and kind. It's amazing.
I love what you just said. I'm going to put up Joy, an angel. If you haven't watched the show before, guests often take steps with angels, loving guides, figures from India, Native American chiefs, galactic figures now. You see light on my hands, you can see light on yours, you can catch lit sage. We'll play around on this show quite a bit. And Dee is super talented, super intuitive, and she's great for helping you unlock your own talents. Here's Joy. What does she have to add to the mix? But get 2 hugs while you're at it so you're having fun.
She says, let's play. Let's play.
So, how contrarian does that sound? The brain is all about structure, resisting, rejecting, judging, the type of judging or knowing that precludes possibility. It'll sound completely aloof or detached from reality, and yet, isn't it the other way around? Can you explain all that?
Yeah, I believe that we get so caught up in being a go 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 society and instant gratification. We've got to accomplish all of these things. And sometimes if we just take a beat and allow ourselves to play and allow that to be the accomplishment, right? And look at it as we're giving ourselves this amazing opportunity just to enjoy being and not having to do anything, just being and enjoying that moment. And then we get out of our logical minds. I literally tell my logical mind to shut up sometimes out loud. I'll go, you've got to shut up. I'm doing spiritual work here. And then allowing myself to go into that space and just, I love to call it playing in the possibilities. And, you can allow your body to join you, in that, put, like you said, put some music on, do a little dance. I mean, it doesn't have to be a long drawn out thing. Give yourself 5 minutes, right? Just to play. And it's just magic.
I'm going to put Ananda Mayama up for not just a hug, and she's a sweetie from India, passed over, unconditional love guide. But if you could get a little something on the next topic and just take us somewhere.
Mm.
Got it?
Yes. She wants to talk about allowing.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's so important. It kind of plays into what we were just talking about, but just allowing, because we feel like we have to put all this effort in, and sometimes it's not about the efforting, it's about the sitting back and allowing those energies to flow in so that we can have the confidence in ourselves and feel that love. because when we're pushing so hard, we're not open to those things coming in as much because we're striving for something instead of just allowing it to flow through.
Oh, I love it. Okay, if you had to pick one word out of like a whole long list of words, and here's the list: abundance, appreciation, attention, compassion, gratitude, kindness, positivity, angels, allowing all, opening, openness, remembering, like remember to remember if you can remember, a couple more. Attitude, if I didn't say that already, abundance, acknowledgement, or acceptance. Which two jumped out at you?
Gratitude and acceptance.
Why?
Well, I feel like we have this beautiful opportunity to be grateful for the things that are in our lives, not just the things that are in our lives, but the things that we're capable of doing, the fact that we're smart enough to learn something new, all of these things that we don't always allow ourselves to think about. Acceptance is, and that allows opportunities for more things to come in to be grateful for. It's kind of magical the way that works. And acceptance, because sometimes things come to us in life and we can even actually be given a gift by someone. But there's a big difference in accepting something and not just because someone gives you a gift doesn't mean you accept it, right? So accepting the things about ourselves that are amazing, accepting the gifts coming in, accepting the flow of energy and love, accepting our abilities to be able to put that out there into the world for other people to experience as well. I think that's really important.
And taking a breath, smiling, slowing down, finding a way to be in your heart, how is that a really big component of all this?
Oh, it's the magic key as far as I'm concerned, because I feel like love is what heals the world, and that we can just, we have to slow down to allow ourselves to experience it, right? We don't feel it when we're pushing so hard. So that allowing comes back in again.
Yeah, but how do you really know about all this with angels? Is the universe really sparkly? How do you know? And I always say, by the way, that how do you know a good cup of coffee is a good cup of coffee? You taste it and say, yum, and you want another cup of coffee, but how do you know?
You have to allow yourself to have the experience of it. And there's a lot of us that are afraid to do that. But the big thing is to allow yourself to have the experience of it, because we can talk about it all day long, right? But if we don't feel it, and that comes with allowing ourselves to have that experience, then we don't really know it.
Is there a not a shortcut, but is there a way for a person who's hedging? It's like the boat that's leaving the pier. They have one foot on the boat, they have one foot on the pier, and no matter what, they're going in the water, probably. There's hedging. Is there a way a person can address the universe before bed and say, hey, I want it as gently as possible. I'm still putting up a fight here, but I recognize something might be going on. Can you get in here and help me, but in a gentle way? What's your advice for somebody who's like, well, I know something's up. Two of my friends have gone this route of opening up and being a little more sparkly and gentle. I'm a little scared about it though. What do you tell them?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really awkward in the beginning, and to recognize the fact that it's awkward and it feels strange and unusual and kind of silly sometimes. Let's face it, when I first started having these experiences and deep diving in and talking to myself in a different kind of way, I'm like, this is so crazy. Like, this is so weird, And so allowing ourselves to know that it's going to be awkward and unusual at the beginning, and that you're not really crazy, and asking for help from angels and guides and galactics if that's your thing, and talking to people you trust about it, listening to podcasts like this one where it exposes you to more ideas, and allowing yourself just to play in the possibilities that they could be real. Just think about it, let yourself go down that road just for a minute and see what happens.
Well, let's do that. Let's just for a minute play around in the possibilities and see some light. I'll show you mine. You don't have to show me yours, but you're going to see light. It'll be 16 different colors if it's rainbow light all at once. People at home, hit pause, run out and buy a lotto ticket. Or if you've been putting off that 10-mile run, it's time. Or you've held off on the last chapter of your memoir. It's been a delay of a year. It's time to go finish off that chapter. You see rainbow light, it's big and sparkly. Dee, you're going to see light. We've done this before, but ask the universe, and I'll bring it up, but ask the universe to come in and add something extra. People have been getting like horses, tulips, geometric stuff. One person saw an angel. It could be anything. It'll be the universe coming in. This is always bigger than we think it is because it's not about thinking, here it goes, but everybody gets a dad joke. And this is coming out just before Christmas. We're still in November, but the holiday season. So here's a holiday joke. Santa's reindeer, Blitzen and Dancer. No one has to remember those reindeer at all. Why do Blitzen and Dancer drink so much coffee? Because they're Santa's Starbucks. Okay, see what you can see, but be in your heart. You're doing the Zen thing, seeing without seeing. Same as a tennis swing, doing yoga, dancing to your music, enjoying a hot shower. What stream of light are you seeing between my fingers?
Um, the white today.
Ooh, and
Yeah.
white's all the colors combined. Not that we're judging it at all. So it's only thing bigger is rainbow light. Ask for a little ear pressure as angels come in, just a tiny bit, nothing discomforting. And then now ask for them to sock it to you and show extra tulips, sparkly, fireworks, an object of some sort. What are you getting in the field or above? What are you getting?
So I got the infinity symbol again, which promptly expanded itself into a flower shape, kind of like it twisted, like if it was spinning
Mm-hmm.
and it made a flower shape. That's what I saw. Yeah.
And we had that happen before the show. So we got a little theme going on. Talk to us about the infinity symbol. And I'm going to put up a figure who can help you with this. And she'll give you, it's like being an actor on the round stage in London, the Shakespearean theater. You can get fed your lines here and do a great job because we just give you a topic and you are incredible when you talk. So here's Min, my guardian angel, but also episode 110, Dr. Karen Wyatt's guardian angel. There's probably 80,000 of us. And she got to meet this angel on a beach for 30 minutes in Redondo Beach. So they can show up in human form. What do you think those stories are about? Getting a flat tire, you were rescued, it wasn't your time to go. What do you think those are about? But why have one of those crises when you can just have a cup of coffee with them or sit on a beach? Okay, here's Min. What's she say about the infinity symbol and how's it apply to us all?
The infinity symbol is such a beautiful, beautiful symbol for just like, to me, endless possibilities. And just like no limitations. That's how it feels to me. And curiously, when you showed me her picture earlier before we started recording, I noticed an infinity symbol around her eyes. It looks like she's wearing glasses that are shaped like an infinity symbol. It goes across the bridge of her nose. So I think that's just so fascinating.
Hmm. And if there are no limits in life, maybe there are really no limits. You knew it as a kid, and then adulting, being serious, having a really successful career, or a lot of failures, difficulty, getting stuck, 16 divorces in 16 weeks. You're that unlucky. You just managed to pull it off somehow and set the Guinness Book of World Records. Stuff happens in life, and then we get shut tight like an oyster. Now, last thing before I put up four archangels for you to take us to the next chapter, you can, have the world as your oyster. It's the two extremes, and it's called this and this. What do Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel, archangels, say about all that stuff?
Let it happen. Let it happen. And they're here to help. Like just ask and then allow.
Can you take us through if it was Tuesday, 2 weeks from now, you've forgotten everything. You're back to full on thinking, being ego, intellect. You're having a tough day. Two clients just canceled, and you got another piece of news on the news or a friend called. How do you recalibrate, get back in alignment, make sure you're here? Give us some practical and tactical treetop level tips.
Okay, so just allowing yourself, this is what I have found to be super beneficial lately because we do get in the muck, right? The muck and the mire sometimes, and it feels like crap. But if we can allow ourselves to kind of look at this from a bird's eye view and realize that this is a moment in time and there's still all these other beautiful things that are happening outside of this particular moment that are just, I mean, we still have our beautiful home, we still have our beautiful friends, we still have that paycheck coming in from our job and whatever it is, we're just in this moment right now and realizing we're not less because we're experiencing those human moments, emotions in that moment. Don't resist them, just allow them to come and allow them to happen. And then you'll be surprised that when you don't resist it, how quickly it melts away, and then everything just kind of morphs back into that beauty of the wholeness again.
Feel what you feel. Do not judge. Okay, wait a second. Let's back up. We'll do a quick yes, no lightning round here. Is love the fabric of the universe?
Yes,
Do angels exist?
absolutely.
Okay, but wait, how do you know for both of those? Prove it.
You have to allow yourself to experience it. And don't talk yourself out of it. You know, we humans, we love to get in that logical mind. And like I said, sometimes you got to tell that logical mind to shut up and allow you to experience this beautiful spiritual moment.
Have you had an experience with a sparkly eyed human, even if it was 2 seconds, they said just a kind word and they're gone, or something longer? Can you share one of those moments in life? When was it? What happened?
Yeah, actually, I was just talking to Steve about this the other day. There's this mystery older gentleman that I ran into at the flea market, and I've seen him now 2 or 3 times. When I first saw him, I walked into the flea market and I just, you know how you feel somebody watching you? And I looked over and I saw him, and just the look on his face was so different. It was almost like he'd been waiting for me to walk in the door and he knew who I was. I had no idea. I've never seen this man before in my life. And he just kept looking at me in this way. And I looked away from him and looked for, because I was on a mission when I walked in there, right? And I looked back at him and he was still looking at me in this way. And I was like, that's so strange. In my mind, I'm thinking, that's so weird. Like he knows me. So I just smiled at him and I said, good morning. And he said, good morning and everything. And I didn't see him again until later during my visit at the flea market. I saw him on a bench outside my friend's shop and I stopped and talked to him. And we had this really impactful conversation that I walked away from just in tears because he touched me so much with his words. And then I didn't see him again for a few weeks, well, a few months actually. And then I saw him again and I'm like, oh, hi. I'm like, I haven't seen you in so long. I'm like, where have you been? He goes, I'm here all the time.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm thinking, I'm here every weekend and I don't see you. So if you're here all the time, where are you when I'm here? Because I'm all over that flea market every weekend because I go visit my friends that have shops there and we get our veggies there and all that stuff. And I was just talking to Steve about, I'm like, where is this guy? I haven't seen him in months again, but he's like the sparkly eyed stranger, like what you said, and just so impactful. I mean, you can just feel the love in this man's heart. I don't know who he is exactly. And if he's there every weekend like I am, why don't I see him every weekend? You know
You
what I
ready
mean?
to
It's
get
very interesting.
you ready to get the backstory? Hear who he is. You've got permission to do so.
Oh my gosh. So, like,
Okay.
I really feel like he's a galactic angel. That's that crazy.
Yep. And here's Joy. If you didn't get the name in the background.
Mm,
Okay. And you got that okay, right?
I did.
Here's
Yeah.
Abe, the Abraham
I,
of Here's Abe, the Abraham of old. He's on everyone's team, an angel, grandfatherly energy or fatherly energy. Catch pipe smell, tobacco, or just a warm fire, like campfire smell. Have him mention
mm,
he loves being down on the ground and seeing people face to face. He hands out fish. He doesn't teach fishing like a lot of other angels do. Here's something about all that. And then what are you allowed to share out loud from between the three of them? What did you get?
mm. I feel like grounding ourselves is really important because we have to stay, because we are earthbound. I feel like grounding is super important. And that comes in with his energy, with like I smelled leather as well, and like saw leather, which I found was really interesting. So just allowing that the whole connection to happen at the same time, realizing that we are in this human experience, but we are also spiritual um, beings too. And our bodies are actually spiritual, which a lot of us forget to remember.
Even exercise is a form of compassion. An angel said that like 5 years ago, and I was like, "Ooh, I never thought of that." Okay, letting go is letting go, taking a breath. And Mother Teresa said, "Taking a breath is the closest some people will come to compassion because we're moving around so much up in our brains. I kind of slaughtered that quote. Here's those three angels again. Hear them all say they'll try to catch up with you at the flea market. We'll have you back on and get a report on that at some point. And is it three of them, two of them, or one of them said they'll give it a go?
All three of them, yeah.
Yay.
They're like, this is
And
going to be fun.
yep. And it's when you're, if you go around for 6 months looking really hard, you're probably not going to find it. It's like watching the pot boil on the stove. Not a lot of fun, kind of ruining the whole point of making the food. Okay, let's get a different angel in and get a new topic, a new direction. Here's Archangel Michael. What's our new topic
Mm.
and our new direction?
Allowing the crap to fall away. So Archangel Michael is excellent at helping us to allow the crap that no longer serves us to fall away, which is a really, really important component of being able to move forward.
And without getting into modern day politics or the tussle going on in so many countries right now, what does Michael say about control, censorship, restriction of liberty, telling people how to think and what words they can use? How does he phrase what's kind of going on in, I could name 10 countries right now?
Mm. I mean, compassion, right? Compassion and allowing the new to come in and the old to fall away, because that's what I feel like is happening right now. I feel like we're kind of in this burn it down, build it up kind of phase and on our planet right now. And yeah, I feel like it's really important to just to allow it to happen and not be afraid of the new possibilities coming in, because I feel like that's what keeps us stuck a lot of times in these paradigms that we've been in for so long, is that we're afraid to embrace change because we don't know what it means, what it's going to look like, how we're supposed to act, feel, interact with each other, all of the things.
This is going to be a gross oversimplification, but thinking is thinking. Most of it's a waste of energy. It's at least 1% of negativity. If your thinking's ever incredible, you're like, oh my God, I'm having the best time of my life. Usually down in your heart, you're creative, but thinking about mowing the lawn's not mowing the lawn or giving a hug to your dog. In fact, think about it. You probably waited a week and you forgot to take your dog for the walk. There's being by doing and doing by being. One's up here, one's down here. And until you learn, so it's a lot of doobie doobie doo. Let me get you Thich Nhat Hanh and have him. I'm not saying if you're thinking, welcome to being human. I'm about to go back to thinking in an hour. It doesn't mean I created a nuclear bomb and all war and conflict and so on, but there is kind of a correlation. What is Thich Nhat Hanh? And by the way, that Blue Angel Charlotte said 7% less thinking is the Olympic gold medal. You don't have to do like more letting go than that. You're fine. That's just like an hour and a half a day. So a little more just taking it easy. What's Thich Nhat Hanh say without indicting all of mankind and all of our thinking? And then now we're on a thinking witch hunt all around the planet. What's he say about this whole heart or mind versus heart thing?
I hear wisdom from him, that it's the wisdom of allowing the love to be the chosen method of expansion. Wow, I don't know where that
That was awesome.
came from. Wow. Yeah. Woo, I have goosebumps everywhere. Holy cow.
Here's Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, the one I reached for originally, but Thich Nhat Hanh jumped in, and he'll go over this so that we expand on it a little. And I want people to think of their favorite artist who's really got a great gallery and does a lot of great business, or a real estate agent, or a stockbroker. If you're really loving what you do and smiling, it shines. Other people feel the energy. They gravitate to your business, or they want your art up on their walls. Have Sai Baba mentioned something. He's from India 100 plus years ago. He's compassion, compassion, compassion. Let him move, wink, smile, shoulder waggle, ear moves in the photo. We know photos can't move, but there's no limits in life. Dee's a practitioner of no limits. And catch an Indian temple incense as if the temple's 5 meters behind you, floating in the air around you. Anybody needs help, breathe through the mouth, let the shoulders go up and down. And say, make it so, like out of Star Trek, one of those series, just tell the universe, hey, help me out of my head into my heart. Help me smell incense from India. Ask for a hug, ask for answers. What are you getting, Dee?
Stop judging. Stop judging yourself, stop judging each other, stop judging everything, just stop judging. That's what I really feel like he's saying.
Now, I've wanted to do a quote from Apocalypse Now, but it's just not possible in a spirituality show. But I can do it now. Um, Judgment is what defeats us, I think, is what Colonel Kurtz said in the Apocalypse
Mm,
Now movie. And I think that was about the only quote I could probably take out of that whole movie, but I could be wrong. Talk to us, and I'll give you one more quote. We shall require a substantially new manner of thinking if mankind is to survive. Albert Einstein said that. Talk to
mhm.
us about what's coming to you right now.
I agree with that. We are going to have a substantially different way of thinking. And I feel like that's what we're moving towards right now. Hi, Gabriel.
And that's Archangel Gabriel.
And
Yep.
it's power. So this has been something that I've been thinking a lot about power. And I feel like that's related to what we have going on our planet right now. There are different kinds of power. The one of control and fear and that type of power is something that I feel like is I don't just feel like it has been the downfall of every amazing civilization that we have had over time. So when we allow ourselves to burn down that old paradigm of needing to control everyone or each other, like we do it even in our personal relationships, like our marriages and our friendships and things like that, allowing that to burn down and embrace this new way of allowing and trusting and allowing power to be in the love and the acceptance and the beauty of things and the magic of things instead of power as control. And that's really what's going to shift our planet.
I love it. Authentic love, authentic being versus everything else, all the mankind stuff. I'm going to do a little bit on
Yeah.
thinking versus awareness. What's the difference? And again, once you figure out the difference in flows, one's not a lot of fun, like a hot stove. Why would you ever do it again? But all day long, I'm sticking my hand still in a hot stove. I do thinking all the time. But when you're in your heart, no limits, and it's a lot more like you can tell. Audrey Hepburn, will do her in a little
Yeah.
bit. She doesn't do thinking. She's an angel, though. Here's the difference between thinking and awareness is answered by three chiefs. I'll put them up next, Dolnay, Richard, Geronimo. But Charlotte and Angel answered it as stuck versus unstuck. What's the difference between thinking and awareness?
Mm,
Dolnay, he said, thinking takes energy. Awareness, well, I always do that. Awareness is knowing and acknowledging. Red shirt, thinking
mm,
brings in doubts. Awareness is what is. It's Eckhart
yeah.
Tolle. Why resist what already is? Awareness is observing, he said, what is already in place. What's the difference between thinking and awareness? Heather, an angel, makes hearts in her photos, said limiting versus limitless,
Mhm.
time versus timeless. Again, what's the
Yeah.
difference? Charlotte also said knowing versus unknowing, and conditional love versus unconditional love. If you've noticed, well, all I've seen for a year or two is a lot of conditional love. There aren't a lot of people practicing unconditional love, but you see it at times. And when you do, the whole crowd erupts or whatever happens and you get sparkles or feel good. Talk to us about the differences, and I'll put up Dull Knife, Unconditional Love Spirit Guide with a lot of wisdom and
Yeah.
humor. Catch a sacred scent in the air, one of those 50 tobacco, sucrose, juniper, Douglas fir, pine, cedar, juniper. What are you getting?
Yeah, so judgment and non-judgment, you know, conditions and no conditions. It's just a flow and non-flow, acceptance, non-acceptance.
But if I go onto Facebook, it's really easy for me to start judging everybody, hand out speeding tickets at the Indy 500. I mean, it's easy. If it's that easy, it's like M&Ms or potato chips. What's this whole love button here about? How do I know I'm really hitting it? What is this practicing love thing all about? Let me put up red shirt and a younger Geronimo. He's compassion, compassion, compassion. He's action, dry wit humor.
Hmm.
What are they saying about this whole be in your heart?
Yeah, so it's about allowing other people to walk their own path. You know, it's not your path, it's their path, so it's okay if it looks different than yours. It doesn't have to be the same. And recognizing that, okay, that's the way they do it, no judgment. That's their path. My path looks like this, and they both can be beautiful.
Ooh, and if they're not getting their experience, they're not getting their experience. All the help in the world to force an experience on them that you think's the right way or the proper way or the official societal way is the least
Yeah.
combat effective. Okay, couple random quotes. This is attributed to Buddha. Who knows? It still works. In the sky, no distinction is made between east and west. Man makes distinction out of mind and then believes it to be true. We've kind of been talking about that. Uh, let's do this one. If you judge people, you have no time to love them. Mother Teresa. And the last one's one of those Joshu quotes where a student runs up to the master to try to show that he's graduated the program in the temple, just to show he's out of mind into heart. What about it when I seek to be Buddha? The teacher said, what a tremendous waste of energy. But the student's a quick one isn't going away anytime soon. So he says, well, what about it when I'm not wasting energy? And the teacher said, then you are Buddha. Okay. Talk to us
Yeah.
about all those quotes. You don't have to worry about the specifics. What's it remind you of? And I'm going to put up older Geronimo in 1 second to add something extra, but get talking, and I'll put up Geronimo as well.
That's really deep stuff. So again, it's about not trying so hard. It's about allowing, we he's so powerful. It's relax. Yeah, relax and just don't strive so hard. Just allow. It's really about allowing those things to happen instead of pushing so hard to get there. If you're pushing and you're striving, then it's not happening because it can't because you're pushing against it.
It's like forcing a run. You were only meant to go 2 or 3 miles that day. You're more exhausted. Your legs are toast, but you're at 5 miles and hating it. You're fighting it. You start walking again. You should have headed home early. And if you think you don't know, that's almost better. When you're running around knowing, that's like the last place you really want to be. Okay, here's another random angel, Harmony. She chose tranquility. Don't ask me why, but she's Harmony. And have her weigh in on this whole shebang.
Mm. That picture reminds me of a portal. So I feel like it's about allowing yourself to go somewhere you've never been before and not putting judgment around how you're getting there.
Here's a angel we don't usually do on the show. She's Patience, Lucy.
Mm.
And what are you getting from her?
Breathe. Just breathe. And that really is something that, breathing exercises can help us with so many things, connecting to the divine, connecting to ourself, gaining peace in a moment that's chaotic. Breathe.
Can you take 3 breaths with her? Not to make you a guinea pig on the show, but can you take 3 breaths with her and talk to us about the difference you felt? And just closing your eyes and doing something with her, she'll show you whatever it is.
Peace. When you slow down and take some breaths and just breathe, you find the peace within yourself. And that's where the main piece needs to be, right? Then you can, because you are with you no matter where you go, you're always there. So learning to find that peace, and it can be anywhere. You could be in an elevator, you could take some breaths, you could be in the line at the supermarket and take some breaths. You could be sitting on your couch. It doesn't matter. You can always choose to take those breaths and find that peace right there. Just it's there.
Here's Mac and a Penelope. Can they add something to the dialogue that then you share with us? Penelope's a fun healing angel. Max, everything about plants, animals, nature. Two angels. Don't call her Mackenzie.
Mm, I love that she's green. That's heart chakra energy.
And if you want to close your eyes, you can see beautiful, lush forests and have the trees speak their collective conscience. And they'll give a reminder for mankind to chillax.
I feel like someone out there needs to know this is something you can practice with your children. Um, and calm that chaotic energy that you feel like, I mean, the kids are going bonkers. They've had too much stimulation during the day. This is something that you can just take a moment before bedtime, or maybe when you're doing baths that evening or whatever, and just take a few deep breaths just to calm the energy, because that's what it does. It just calms that chaotic energy.
An angel named Dale, origin story from Andromeda in March of 2024. Angels started giving some of their origin stories. Angels today, they're like dolphins. Light beings are like whales. That's the best I can do. Anyhow, love's love. Details don't matter so much. He's a coach, might have coached an Olympic athlete we all know from the 70s or 80s who won a lot of golds. Dale's awesome. Think of him as Greg Kinnear, but if you can't remember Greg Kinnear wearing this type of shirt, George Clooney could work, but do Greg Kinnear if you could. And he can be very funny. What are you getting from Dale?
So what comes to mind is this movie with Kevin Costner. What is the name of it? Where
Field,
he's a pitcher.
Field of Dreams, or
No,
the other
he's
one
no,
with
he's a pitcher in this one.
yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
And one of the things he does is he says clear the mechanism in his mind when he's up there pitching. So it just quiets. I mean, the crowd is screaming, and then all of a sudden he says clear the mechanism, and all that stuff just quiets down and disappears. And it's him and the batter. And it's
For
like
love
him
of
in
the
the mid
game.
of the catcher,
Yeah,
or
for
love
love
of
of
the
the game.
game. Yeah. So I feel like that's it. Just allowing that the noise to fall away so that we can bring in those energies that we need to be able to accomplish what we need to accomplish.
Kelly Preston was in that movie as well. Okay, here's an
Such a good movie.
here's an angel named Isabel. She's all about inner calm, but she really ripples a lot of light. She's like a solar flare. And before we do her, let's make the point about everything's energy, and two screens are not holding us back. So people aren't going to understand this who are just showing up. But if you've watched, what are we booked to? 328 shows to January of 2026. 200 and maybe 40 are taped as of mid-November 2024, with another 40 to go this year. So we're way ahead of the curve. It'll allow for more mind, body, spirit panels in 2025, as well as shows like this that air the day they're taped. This type of show is reserved for the really cool, fun guests, so they get a little extra thank you. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Free to subscribe. Hit that bell notification button. Now, if folks are learning anything at the end of these shows, in the middle, and we jumped on it early today, you can catch the scent of lit sage. I'll do that really quickly. You can feel my energy through two screens. I don't think we've blown sage yet today. There's no limits, or if there are no limits, maybe there are really no limits in life. You knew it as a kid. Welcome to adulting and being way too serious. That's all of us. One way or the other, it takes a car wreck, near-death experience, 5 divorces, a really serious illness, or a broken leg to get a timeout. And even then, we go right back to being shut tight like an oyster. Are you already catching sage? But ask for flowers as well to show that it's nonlinear. What flowers?
Gardenias.
Yay.
Ooh,
I didn't.
yes, beautiful.
People can play this over, and if you're not getting the sage, then just get out of your head. I'll give a dad joke. Bert and Ernie, Sesame Street. Bert offers Ernie ice cream. What's Ernie say? Sure, Bert. If you can laugh, that's letting go, and there's nothing else to it. Last quick thing before we do Isabel, get something private from her that's fun, get a beautiful compliment. That's the other thing is, are you getting compliments? Are you saying I love you to people randomly, or at least opening the door for them or waving hi? Are you judging them because you think they're a Democrat or Republican and not? waving them through the stop sign section or the not opening the door for them, you have no way of knowing. So how do you explain the kindness that you do unilaterally, unconditionally, and yet wail on people if you have a news station on, or judge your neighbors and everything else? Who knows? Welcome to being human. Okay, here comes that hand in Texas. You're in Florida. What do you feel? And let me let go and go on an old bodyboarding trip and also throw everybody off. This means absolutely nothing, but you just got a light. Okay. Being zany. That's good. What are you getting?
So I feel warmth and I feel love.
Ooh.
Yeah,
And people can do
warmth.
this at home.
Yeah.
So put your hand up, only 11 above. Angels are filtering this out. So it's 20, 30, and 40 people in New Zealand did this, but they're all having a hard day. It ain't going to Dee May in Florida. Check out our website, Eternal Soul Evolution. Did I get it right? .com.
You did. Yes.
Yay. Okay, but none of their clouded stuff that's not love and above is coming our way in the future. It's only love. I'm going to whoosh a little bit of light, and you can feel this and do this anytime. No one can see you at home when you're watching this. So get up and do a chubby checker or an Elvis or throw a hand, do anything. Rub your hands in a circle, not, don't make a fire. You haven't done that in 30 years since you were one, even if you're 50. Okay, here we go. Here comes a whoosh. I'm going to blow up my microphone, catch a little Hawaii on your nose. Catch love up and down your back or the front. And what'd you get in Florida? We can drop our hands now.
I smelled the sea. I smelled the ocean. Yeah, I did. That was amazing.
Good. Did you feel a
Yeah,
little energy too?
always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's Isabel. She's like intercom, but she's like a pond that's glass, no wind, no ripples. Or the ocean once every 200 days, it's perfect glass. 5 a.m., no wind, no waves. People really feel her like a solar storm of love. So get rippled, breathe through
Yeah.
the mouth to open up a little extra. Here are two beautiful compliments. Just say that you got them. And if you get a third to share out loud, share it out loud. This is going to suck. It's putting a spotlight on you, but it's the APL Spotlight series. So what's the compliment you have to share out loud that she said it's okay?
You're so deep. That's what she said. You're so deep.
I love it. And you're not a scuba diver, so this is good. Okay, what does she have for us all for like trusting an invisible path?
I feel like she's saying trust your inner self, like trust that inner guidance that you know is there. So many of us doubt. She's beautiful.
Okay, I'm going to read something from Angels. I'll find a couple quotes. Takes 2 seconds to do this. And here we go. Being is believing in all. You do not need to be like anyone else. And I think that's something that's been the opposite the last decade or two. You're being told to be like everybody else, period, and not have any uniqueness. Be you. This is Angels who said all this. Smile more, think less. Do not permit others to dictate your well-being. Own your own being in life.
Mm.
Love more and allow more. You can be happy now in this very moment without a single reason. Again, this is why it's not about
Yeah.
words or concepts, which are just another form of egoic thinking, often. Always keep releasing so as to not allow walls to rebuild ego. What to release exactly is never that important. Those are mere details. Keep releasing. And here's one more from Archangel Uriel. Both are from 2014. If more people would listen, less conflict would arise in any given situation. What does that all mean to you? And let me put up a Rebecca who's from really far away. One of my business managers, along with Charlotte and Archangel Michael. She's from some galaxy where music was invented beyond like Andromeda, Sirius, Orion, blah, blah, blah. Really far away. What does she say, tying it all together, that jives with you and how you talk?
Limitless. I mean, and you can see again, she almost looks like she has a little bit of a infinity thing going on there.
She's
Just
at
smaller in the middle. Yeah, it's amazing.
There's two circles there, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It
Yeah.
doesn't always come through, but she's four circles in the photo. And here's Charlotte and Min in a different photo because there's no one way. You can see the smiley faces. And that's just I call it metallic balls of light. I took that daytime. But have her give you one last little bit of detail, very profound.
So I'm hearing "Don't Worry, Be Happy" like the song, but we get that's that thinking thing again. We get so in our heads about things and you said something about we can be happy anytime, and it's a choice. It is a choice. And I feel like that's one of the things that we can really take to heart is that we can pick in this moment, no matter what crazy crap is going on in our lives, that we can choose to be happy anyway.
Allow
You
more,
know, I
want
think
more.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think one of the traps we fall into is thinking that, we see these people are so happy in life and they're embracing that just joy that they don't have anything going on that they could possibly be unhappy about. And that's not true. They just choose to be happy anyway. And I
Mm.
feel like that's really, really powerful message.
Oh, I love that. Okay, yeah, it was you could be happy now in this very moment without a single reason. And you'll know it's your ego talking. You get a nice introduction to your ego. You can meet and tame your ego anytime you want. Kick it out of the driver's
Yeah.
seat, put it in the back seat. But the word but will come up. But what about this? Or what about that group of people over there doing this? And that's the human brain getting in the way. The same human brain that invented the concept of nuclear weapons does war and also arrests people for no reason whatsoever or rains on their day. Okay, here's Mary, Big Mary. I'm just doing a modern photograph of the Mary who's love and everything we need. If we all had her faith and trust, there'd be no more need for fear or worry. Let her move or sparkle more in the eyes. If you want to catch rainbow glitter all over your room, breathe through the mouth. Let the shoulders go up and down, but you won't have to vacuum later, and you won't put a comment later saying I had to hire carpet cleaners to clean my house. I'm never coming on the show again. There was too much glitter. We had to get a shovel.
Mm,
Are you getting a little bit of glitter in the air around you?
yes.
I
Purple
didn't do
sparkles
it.
is what
Okay, yeah, keep talking. What did you get from Mary? What's Mary? Let Mary actually flow through you. If you don't mind putting your hands off camera out a little bit, do something unusual to get out of what you know. And what are you getting for this whole love, compassion, sparkliness, glitter thing?
Yeah, you are beautiful. I feel like that's the message she had, that you are beautiful, because so many of us don't realize the beauty that we have. Yeah.
Okay, what are three final like takeaways? This is what you teach people or show people. I don't know which way to say it. You probably show people so they can discover it at their end. It's the only way you can experience is the only instructor. And if you want to fight that, you're still going to get beautiful. Well, you're going to get tough luck experiences that'll slap you around a little to get you to pay attention. And even then, we put up a harder fight sometimes. It can be decades before anybody really wants to listen or pay attention. So, what are your three takeaways? You've been teaching people for a long time. You've been having to do your own learning. It's like a snowstorm for all of us. Shovel is nice, but then sometimes we get a snowblower and then later we get a plow and we're like, done.
Mm, yeah. The smackdown comes if we don't listen. That's for sure. I've had it myself. So the three things I feel is play in the possibilities, right? Give yourself tons of grace especially when you're starting, but it applies all throughout our journey. We're going to find opportunities to really truly give ourselves grace because I mean, we have to, or we're going to just fold under, we're just going to fold under. So play in the possibilities, give yourself grace, and remember everyone's journey gets to look different. There's no wrong way to do this. And I feel like that is hugely important for people to understand. I'm not going to do things the way you do things. You're Angel Michael, and I'm over here doing a whole different kind of thing, but we're all accomplishing the same thing, which is spreading this love and positive light out over our planet. But it looks different for each and every one of us, and that's perfectly as it should be.
And if it was the art world, getting back to that original theme of you can't dictate stuff to other people, it'd be really weird if everyone could only do oils with only three colors
Yeah.
dictated by governments or societies or organizations. We would all end up with the same art and there would be no contrast. Here's one last quote from Netflix. I forgot what movie from like 5 or 6 years ago. In the end, love is what shows us life in different colors.
Yes.
And I have three last photos for you. Two last photos, and then Grace the Angel, if you'll remind me. I've got no photo for her. She's rainbow light, but you'll get her just fine. Here's universal love, light consciousness. It's the same object photographed. Yeah, photographed two different ways. So it's two different versions of light. One's more primary colors, one's more light. If you could get as much as you could get, ask which angel is going to help you with this exercise. Out of here to here, and everyone can do this at home. You can feel the light. You can take in the light. Which angel's yelling, pick me? Is it Joy? Okay.
Uriel, actually.
Oh, perfect. Let Uriel be your ambassador for this. Here's that photograph.
Wow.
Catch what you can catch. If you want to see little balls of light moving all around the room now, like a bunch of different folks saying hello, just nod if you're getting extra.
Yes.
Okay, good. And what's the takeaway before we do one more photo like that? Have Grace the Angel come in. What's the takeaway you just got with Uriel's help?
I'm hearing everything looks different. I'm not sure exactly the full meaning of that, but that's what I'm hearing.
Oh. And here's the same object. I'll say what it is. It's a hand-blown glass hummingbird feeder with the light at a different time of the day. And now what are you getting? Let Uriel help you out on this one as well. Breathe extra, exhale like a whale at home if you're having any difficulty. You can even put your hand up. We have three screens going, my iPhone, my laptop, and your screen at home, folks. There's no limits. What will you allow for is a whole different story. That's Plato's Cave or any of the other metaphors. I think Alan Watts talked about the menu at the restaurant, and yet that's not actually eating the food. You're just always focused on the menu. And a lot of people never even get to the meal. Just love, love,
There's
love.
a endless possibilities. There's a face in that picture. That's so interesting.
Ooh, and somebody saw a fairy, which is this right here in the middle.
Yeah, so I see it. Yeah.
And I have her a different way. Remind me about Grace in just a second, but here's that fairy a different way. That's my Ring garage camera.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she seems to be doing something different in that picture.
And then here's Ginger. Hold on. Here's Ginger, the fairy. And then last,
Magic.
we got a Tinkerbell as well. I got to do Tink. Took me 6 months to allow for Tinkerbell to exist. I'm like, wait, what? How is this possible? And the brain can hold you off for decades. It doesn't know anything, actually.
Yes.
There's Tink. You can hear a wee, and you can see rainbow glitter everywhere. Let Tink's like 13, rambunctious. Ginger's a little more mature at 14. Are you seeing silver light, which is Ginger? Are you seeing rainbow light, which is Tink? Or are you seeing both and they're having a glitter fest competition?
I saw this silver.
Okay, Ginger won
Silver.
today, so she's all you. Now let's close your eyes and have real rainbow light coming in. Not that fairies aren't amazing. They can answer an astrophysicist question. If people would stop like worrying about hardcore limited knowing, a week later is outdated.
Yes.
You can get universal love and wisdom. Grace is going to come in. She's rainbow light. I got no photos, no representations for her. I rarely get to do her. If you don't mind putting your arms out though, a little off camera, do something unusual, sit a different way, breathe through your mouth. Have her fully come in, feel like she just went all quantum field on you. Yell kumbaya, but also like a ridiculous Swedish massage, like way too hard. But since it's energy and grace, you can allow for it. Get worked. And if you'll let her flow through you, this could be hardcore channeling. I don't know what we were doing before, but this is, I don't even know what hardcore channeling is. What's a beautiful message that you're like, oh my God, I'm feeling it as I'm talking it. Let her really go ripping through you, like hitting a winner on the tennis court.
Expansion.
And what do we all need to know about expansion?
You have to allow. You have to allow for expansion.
I love it. I heard it's here. Duh. Every moment is your opportunity, but good luck with that. So just twice a day, like a broken clock. You can all be a broken clock at home. We already are. You barely recognize how much you're already doing, allowing. Flipping a light switch is a miracle. Putting on your jeans is a miracle. Remembering to actually hug your dog. Mine are locked up in the closet right now. But remembering to hug your dog, and how often are you telling, okay, I got it. CNN did a study of couples in different countries and how many times they touched each other while at a public cafe, okay, and in an hour. And then they showed the different nationalities. They got this, they tracked them down and said, hey, what country are you from? I'm from Brazil. It was 87 touches in an hour. I'm making it up. England, it was like 3
Wow.
touches in an hour. And it was each country, like it's Italy, it was like 60 touches in an hour. Like you're talking, you make a point, you touch your spouse or partner's wrist and you smile, all that interaction stuff. Let's look at dogs. How often are you actually telling your dogs out loud, I love you in a day? There's like a meter there. How much are you actually touching their ears? Your brain is like, I don't have time. I got to go pour more coffee. I got to return Frank's phone call. Your heart's like, I want to go say hi. And there's time. And you usually stuff that. That's why so many kids getting reared by adults turn into adults.
Right.
Okay, Dee, wrap up this show. You're incredible. How can people, what should people be tapping you for? And I'm going to put up an Angel Mac so she puts it in a different light that you might not have said recently. So people go, oh, I need to be reaching out to Dee right away.
Yeah, so I was so touched by something another coach said is that you don't need a coach, you don't need a mentor. You are already every single thing that you need in this life. You already are it. However, if you would like to have someone guide you along the path to make things a little easier for you to bounce ideas off of and to have that cheerleader there for you to let you know that you're not crazy, that you really are doing this, then I would love to work with you.
Yay. Now, last bit, what's a reminder for us all that's something we haven't covered? I'll still put up Min to help out on this. Something you would have told us anyhow, but it's like, oh yeah, I need to dust this off. What's the reminder to leave us with? And that'll wrap up everything.
You are amazing. You are beautiful and you are amazing.
And if anybody wants
Yeah.
that exercise, go to a mirror and say that. Throw in an I love you. How many times do you have to go before you start believing it or burst into tears? Because we're always carrying around all that trauma, drama, no drama, just drama. But how many times do you have to say it before you start allowing for it?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
for
different
all of
for
us.
everyone.
Yeah, 30 times,
Yeah.
100 times. You need 2 days in front of the mirror. There's a few people who might light a cigar and go, I love you, big guy. And they're just like, I mean, they're loved. They're the big kahuna already. All right, Dee May in Florida, thank you so much for being on the show. You're incredible. We'll have you back as much as we can in the future. And thanks for being so flexible on everything.
Oh, you're very welcome. And thank you, Michael. It's always a great time when I get to chat with you and the angels.
Yes. Thank you again, Dee.
You're very welcome. Thank you.